Hey, how's it going? Tenfold Tactical coming right to you from Spring, Texas. I'm making this video to let y'all know why I'm creating this channel. Okay. The reason why I'm creating this channel is just to document my shooting journey. Okay. And my shooting journey starts with competitive shooting. I've been into guns for a while now, but now I'm just starting to get into competitive shooting. On this channel, I will be covering my competitive shooting, gun reviews, optic reviews, gear reviews, and then also prepping information. A little about my shooting background, okay? I'm not former military, I'm not former law enforcement or current law enforcement. I'm just a regular guy that was interested, has an interest in guns. When I turned 20, I bought my first pistol. My background, if you don't know, is in professional MMA. I have an extensive MMA background, fights, and so forth. And now I feel like the next stage in my life is to get into competitive shooting, competitive fighting. Now I want to try the world of competitive shooting. And so, right around 2008, bought my first pistol. Right around 2009, bought my first AR. And I threw those things in the closet thinking that I was into guns. And maybe I was to an extent, but I did not know how to shoot my guns accurately under stress, but I thought I was capable of it. It's funny because everybody walks into an MMA gym and they automatically think they can fight. That's exactly like owning a gun. No matter if you've practiced or not, if you've bought your first gun, you automatically think you can shoot. I am also guilty of that. Unfortunately, I found out I'm not that good. But anyways, I threw those guns in my closet and then also collected a few more, but never really shot much of any gun. I would probably go to the gun range about, once a year, probably shoot about 100 rounds, and I would think that was into guns or into shooting. That's not the case. So I would say right about 2022, I got another job, met a buddy there of mine that was also into shooting or into guns. And we would talk back and forth. And one day he mentioned competitions. I was very interested because I'd never really heard anybody talk about pistol shooting competitions. Like I said, I obviously thought I was a good pistol shooter. So of course I want to do competition to show how good I am and see where I'm at. So we go back and forth. Well, I start diving in and trying to figure out where I can go to these USPSA matches at. So somewhere around the end of 2023, I go to my first USPSA practice match and did horribly, but I had so much fun. Shooting on the move, the transitions, the heart rate, the nerves, everything. Loved every second of it. At that point, I went back to my buddy, told him about it, got him to come out to a USPSA practice match. He fell in love as well. Okay, that was the end of 2023. During 2024, in May of that year, we took a Viking tactical class. It's a tactical firearms training school here in Houston, Texas, ran by Rick Blevins, who is former military, has a bunch of great trainers on his team. And me and my buddy took their 2-day pistol and carbine course, which goes over firearm tactical training over pistol and AR-15. Me and my buddy loved it. Started training even more at Renaissance Shooting Club, which is a dynamic shooting club, which allows you to put up targets and transition and multi-targets. They have tactical bays where you can put whatever drill to use that you want to. So got a membership to there, started training about, once a month. Okay. And then by the end of the year, did a couple of more practice matches. And then that's the end of 2024, the beginning of the 2025. I really wanted to start taking my firearms USPSA competition seriously. I started off the year very strong with several practice competitions between January and March. Unfortunately, my car crapped out on me and I had to purchase a new vehicle. And so that set me back a little bit. But now, as of September 2025, I think I've caught back up and ready to put in as much effort as possible into these last months of 2025 and then continue on strong into 2026. I have a membership with USPSA, but I'm unranked right now. I have not done any classifier matches. I've only done USPSA practice matches, which are technically, they don't go as towards your record of classification. So I'm waiting till I get a little bit better until I do a classifier, because I would like to be a little bit more comfortable with my skill set before I do step on the classifiers. But definitely by the end of this year, 2025, I look to do at least 1 to 2 classifiers. So with all that being said, let's step on to the gear now that I will be using for my USPSA and PCSL multi-gun competitions. All right, I'm going to start with the belt setup. Okay, now I went with a very cheap belt setup. Everybody says stay away from Krydex. I did not stay away from Krydex. Okay, I want to start off with a cheaper belt setup just to get me into the competition setting. And then once that belt breaks down or breaks, I will step up to a better belt. So a $50 Krydex belt off of Amazon, two $50 Krydex or $20 Krydex pistol magazines, two $20 AR-15 magazines, Krydex $20 dump bag, and then this Dare holster Springfield Echelon competition holster for about 75 bucks. So all in all, I got about 150 to 170 bucks in this. Okay, and like I said, once I use this belt enough to where it breaks down, I will replace it with a higher quality belt like Core or a Dare holsters or HRT belt. Moving on to the pistols. Let me start off by saying rest in peace to the SIG P320 X5 Legion. That was my past competition gun. I ran it for about the first 5 to 6 USPSA practice matches that I had. Put about 1,000 rounds with it. Had no malfunctions, had no negligent discharges in my holster. But with all that controversy that SIG's going with now today, with the 320, I had to really just move past that gun. It's not safe, and SIG as a company needs to take more responsibility with that situation. But moving forward, now with that being said, I moved on to the Springfield Echelon. This is a relatively new pistol, the best new duty pistol, and that's actually what I'm looking to prove. I honestly have to admit that I'm kind of a little bit of a Springfield shield, because like I said, the second gun I ever bought was a Springfield XD. I have a Springfield XDM. I have a Springfield Hellcat. I have a couple other Springfields, so several Springfields in my gun safe. So I might be a little bit of a shield, but I really love the Echelon a lot. The grip is textured very well. The 20 round magazine, the optic plate that comes with it. On top of there, I got the red dot, the SIG Romeo Pro. Great red dot. It actually came on my SIG X5 Legion, and once I moved away from that pistol, I just put it on the Echelon, and it went directly on with no optic plate necessary. Okay, and now down to the AR-15. Like I said, I hopefully will be doing PCSL multi-gun and USPSA multi-gun matches as well. So, and for that, I will be using an Anderson Manufacturing AR-15. Okay, this is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to AR-15s. Okay, it's about $400. This is actually an older one. I know Anderson Manufacturing just got bought out by somebody. I forgot exactly who they did, but this is an older Anderson that I bought probably around 2019. So a little bit older. So it has some upgrades to it. It has a tool code bolt carrier group, has a CMC trigger, front vertical grip. It has a Holosun HOS 3B without the solar strip, has a Radiant charging handle, and I'm about to put a Radiant Talon ambi safety in it. So those are the upgrades to it. And I'm really seeing how far this $400 to $500 AR-15 is willing to go. Trust me, this is not the only AR-15 I've got in my gun safe. I have upper class AR-15s, but I want to take a budget rifle and see how much I can get out of it, because you got to think, most people don't train once a month, once a year with their rifle. They don't really have that budget. But maybe somebody who's is on a budget, and what can they expect out of this type of rifle. And like I said, I do have some upgrades to it, and I think that's the best way to go about getting cheap rifles. I think you should get a cheap rifle if it's your first AR-15, $400 to $500, and you learn it. Add a couple parts, add an upgraded bolt carrier group, add an upgraded trigger, and see how long that AR-15 lasts you. I guarantee you're gonna get a lot of rounds out of that thing. Okay, and I'm putting this Anderson Manufacturing to the test, so we'll see. Right now, the round count is about 800, almost 1,000. My Springfield Echelon right now is about at 1,400 rounds, and I've had this Krydex belt now for about 2 years. Okay, so holding up so good so far. So awesome. Well, that's everything for this episode on Tinfoil Tactical, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be coming back to you for some more content.